What is going on, guys? Pal in the shop. And for those guys who've been wondering about the YouTube 355, well, here it is. There's obviously some funky stuff going on. Let's check it out. I'm gonna post this video because I wanted to tell you guys about what's going on with the YouTube 355, this engine right here, because I keep getting asked about it. The project got a little delayed because of parts availability, and I had to use some parts for other projects for other customers. But real quickly, I'll tell you what the YouTube 355 is if you're not familiar. You might have seen this crazy setup and we're kind of interested in what's going on here. So the YouTube 355 was an idea I had where I had spare parts, blocks, rotating assemblies, and heads, and I thought if you guys picked it in the comments and we put an engine together, we could dyno it in the end and see what we end up with. So I let you guys basically pick what parts we use. So real quick, we ended up with 880 roller block, late model small block Chevy block, bore 30 over, 3.48 stroke, so it's a 355. It's got these DNA performance cylinder heads, which I ported, did a little bit of port work, flow tested them. I did if you go back on the videos, you can see what valve springs and everything I put in those. We went with a Summit Racing roller camshaft, one-piece push rods, roller rocker arms, and this Edelbrock air gap intake. So overall, it's a really nice combination. I don't want to blow smoke, but I think it's about 9.7 to 1 compression or something like that. 9 point something to 1 compression. I'd have to check my notes. I can't remember at the moment. So a nice, real street, mild street strip setup. But what I didn't tell you guys is when we picked that Summit Racing camshaft, in the back of my mind, I thought this cam would probably be pretty sweet for running boost on. I mean, if you follow Richard Holder, every cam is a boost cam, and he's right. But I thought this cam in particular, with the specs it had, would actually work pretty good with a small block Chevy and boost, especially with these half decent flowing cylinder heads. So that's when I came up with the idea to put together this budget blow-through turbo setup for a small block Chevy, because you don't see a lot of turbo small block Chevys, and I think they're pretty cool, and that's what I'm going to be doing in my Trans Am. I've done lots of supercharger stuff, but there's something about a turbo small block Chevy that's pretty neat. So real quick, what we got going on here, the turbo is a 7875 into a basic carb hat, welded a flange on it for a blow-off valve. We're blowing it through, so blow-through means no intercooler. We're blowing it through an MSD Atomic 2, which I got on a pretty sweet trade deal. A lot of these parts I had or got on like trade deals to put the kit together. Obviously, if you had to buy everything, what do we call a budget nowadays? But I thought if I could wheel and deal and get a lot of this stuff, I can put together a pretty budget kit that would be pretty neat, and I designed it so that I could actually drop it into my Trans Am. So this MSD Atomic, if you're unfamiliar, is like a Holley Sniper, a little bit more options. I got fuel pressure sensor and stuff, and then it'll support 650 NA horsepower, so just over 600 probably boosted horsepower, which is if we can throw 600 horsepower at this thing, it'll be pretty fun. And then for the hot side, it's just a 3rd gen Trans Am exhaust manifold with a crossover pipe, custom crossover pipe that goes under the oil pan to this turbo header that I modified. It's like an eBay turbo header, actually pretty decent quality. Just I had to modify it to make it all work properly. It's a T4 flange, and I just have it hooked up to a 3-inch downpipe and a muffler right now, so I can run it. And I'll fire it up for you guys so it's fairly quiet on just this temporary engine stand I made up for this setup right here. So I thought it would be cool if I did some testing on this stand too for you guys. I want to show you how you can run a TBI, TPI distributor on with like a Holley Sniper or an Atomic or any sort of EFI system, and the settings you have to put in. So I'm going to do a video on that. I might just do a few tutorial videos using this setup as well, so you guys have any questions, I can kind of go through some stuff and just do it right here at my home shop. So alright, let's fire this thing up so you guys can kind of hear it. It's going to be quiet because of the the way the exhaust is, and with the turbo acts kind of like a muffler, and then I actually have a muffler hooked up to it because I'm running this. It's about midnight right now, so I don't want to get too carried away. But what you're probably going to hear are those noisy comp cams from aluminum rocker arms. Certain cam profiles, I notice the rocker arms are kind of noisy, and they almost will sound like a solid lifter a little bit idle and stuff. So if you notice that, that's what it is. There's nothing wrong with the valve train. It's just those comp cam lifters. And if you have, or those comp cam rocker arms, and if you have those comp cam rocker arms and you're experiencing that, it's completely normal, and there's really nothing you can do. It's just kind of the nature of the beast with those things. So let me fire this thing up so you guys can hear it, and I'll give her a little rev. Maybe we can hear that turbo make a little woot woot. So let's do it. I don't know how much you can, it might be quieter on the video or a little louder, but it's hard to tell. I think it's going to be louder on the video than it actually is in real life, but the thing runs smooth. It actually runs really, really good, so I'm really happy with it. So let's give her a little rev and see if we can hear this turbo at all. Okay, so now for the dyno plan. I'm actually trying to set things up with another YouTuber, a bigger YouTuber, and make a road trip to see him and put this on his dyno, run it NA, and then hopefully slap this semi-untested budget turbo setup, possibly make a fool out of myself, and just see what happens. That was the plan. It was supposed to happen a little bit ago. With our conflicting schedules, it just didn't happen. So he's had some issues at the shop and stuff. So I'm still trying to work out when that's going to happen, but I'm really hoping we can set something up and make it happen. I think it would be a lot of fun. I don't know how this is all going to turn out once I bring it all there and take the road trip and make it happen. I'm not going to tell you guys who it is or anything, just in case it doesn't work out. But that's the plan. I really got to see if I can set a date and we can actually make this happen, because I think it would be a lot of fun and actually see how much power it makes. So it's going to be really, really interesting to go from the NA, and then hopefully if this whole crazy budget system I threw together works, we can do some testing there, maybe do some some different testing on the dyno with carburetors versus EFI. I don't know. So that's where it's at right now. That's all I can tell you, is that it's running. It's got this crazy turbo system on it. I want to do some testing and show you guys, use this engine for now as a test mule, just setting distributors up and stuff like that. So that's where we're at. We're having fun. Everything's good. Super busy, but this is a good kind of busy when we get to play with stuff like this. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this crazy setup, and what you'd like to see as far as dropping in distributors, that kind of testing on our engine stand setup like this. So let me know. Thanks, guys.